Tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com for our 20th anniversary Back to the 80s WrestleFest, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Wrestling fans, we've told you that we have a new Tuesday night coming for you for our 20th anniversary beginning September 7th when Boston Wrestling MWF goes extreme. Sunday night, August the 29th, one of the rotating superstars joining us will be former ECW World Champion Justin Credible, coming to MWF Studios for the first time for Wrestling Insider's Extreme tapings, plus a live episode and Cyber autograph signing. Joining New Jack, Justin Credible brings a brand new edge to Tuesday nights. Interested in joining us live? Boston Wrestling Patreon family members can join us for free. For information, visit patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Fans anywhere in the world can join us for the live episode and Cyber autograph signing. For more, visit bostonwrestling.com. Wrestling fans, it's time to rock. WWE legend Marty Jannetty of the Rockers returns for 3 big nights, Wednesday, September the 1st through Friday, September the 3rd. Marty will be taping historical Wrestling Insider episodes, live specials, and Cyber autograph signings. Support wrestling superstars. Pre-order autographed 8x10s now over at bostonwrestling.com. This September, get your sunglasses ready. It's time to party with Marty.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, welcome to the Monday, August the 23rd, 2021 edition of Wrestling Insider's Monday Night Mission. As WWE Raw just wrapped up, it was a heck of a weekend between AEW Rampage, SummerSlam, NXT TakeOver, our live watch-alongs. Things are happening, Oscar, as we continue to count down now the months to the weeks to the days to the big one, our Back to the 80s WrestleFest, Saturday night, November the 13th at Memorial Hall, Melrose, Massachusetts. Discount tickets remain available at bostonwrestling.com for a limited time. Our 6th featured guest, unfortunately, had a very indirect COVID situation come up in their life, so they will be unable to join us. More on that to come. But I tell you this, Oscar, today, Chairman Manolian had a meeting with the one we can only call Piggott, and she jobbed out David Reese.
Wait. Okay, there was a lot I wanted to begin with, but
Piggott jobbed out David Reese.
What do you mean she jobbed out David Reese?
She said there was no need for him. The president of our organization, the man that was the resident psychiatrist that ran the department at Melrose Wakefield Hospital for all the psychiatric patients, and she feels the man has apparently no value. She won't even refer to him by name.
Okay, I'm not going to address this. Excuse me, Dreamy. Yeah. The lady that runs the venue where you can be singing out, she said, and I quote, and here's my headphones because this is for you. She jobbed out David Reese. She said there's no need for him, so he's disinvited and he can't come.
He's not banned from the event. She feels he just has no value and he's not needed.
He has no value. David Reese has no value.
You know what?
Piggott really has an attitude.
Yeah, and so you know what? Dreamy Mimi, she has a very soft spot.
Yes.
And she does not like people bullying, especially Dr. David Reese.
She thinks Piggott's bullying David Reese?
She thinks Piggott is bullying David Reese. Anybody, she'll snatch your earrings out like a ghetto chick and fight over David Reese. You think I'm playing?
Well, I tell you this, we may get a sample of John Cena Sr.'s FWW.
I was so bad.
So you better. Okay, I'll give you an example. We were at this black tie event in California,
yeah,
at the Beverly Hilton Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that runs it, he's like a brother to me, but he's a real asshole. I mean, he's an asshole from way back. So he was letting us in, and I had Dr. David Reese with me.
Yes.
The guy who really runs it said that he could come, but his sons, kind of like treated him bad. Like, get to the back of the line. I mean, Mimi was damn near ready. She don't like people picking on David Reese because he's so meek, mild mannered, and he sponsored us to come out there and everything like that. She was ready to snap, and she had a fabulous dress on. She was ready to snatch her dress off to her sports bra and start swinging on people.
What does she think about his pieces?
I'm like, let's go.
That wasn't she's not. She talks to him about that all the time.
She talks to David about his pieces?
Yep.
Really?
No pieces.
She doesn't want him to have any of Reese's pieces.
Right. So this woman Piggin that's picking on David. Piggott that's picking on Dr. David. She better watch her back in November because Mimi will definitely go for her.
Oh, you know what? That's one I'd pay money out of pocket to see that. You have no idea.
Can't say he'll pay money to see that.
I'd contribute to the fund.
They don't like this woman at all.
She's been horrible for 9 years. Oh my God,
well,
going back to 2008.
What does she know about David Reese anyway?
Well, she knows that he's the president of Boston Wrestling MWF. She knows he's an acclaimed psychiatrist throughout both the East and the West Coast with practices on both coasts. He works with major league sports franchises and, his run, the mental facilities at several major hospitals. But she feels David Reese is unimportant.
Okay, well, first of all, who is she to tell anybody? I don't know who is Piggott to tell anybody who is coming to the 80s WrestleFest and what role they gonna play. She don't have nothing to do with us.
Well, I want to stress she has not banned him from the event. She just said he has no value to her. Like he's nothing. He's David.
She ain't got.
Go ahead.
She ain't got no value to us besides renting us the building.
No kidding. Please, you have no idea.
Oh, God.
Just another day in the world of the Boston Wrestling MWF.
I don't know why.
This should be a documentary.
It should be, because I don't know why it is. Every time you get involved with somebody, there's always got to be a problem.
Piggott and I have been dueling since 2008, Oscar. It's been a long journey and an unfortunate one.
I'm speechless behind that one. But anyway, here's the situation.
All right, what do we got? What do we got on your end, brother, since we last spoke a week ago?
Vegas, what days is it that you need Dreamy on the red carpet? Because let me get that straight.
I just thought that might be kind of fun, entering the two dinners on the Tuesday and the Wednesday.
Okay, what's the dates on those?
Geez, Oscar, you're really challenging me now, brother. Let me get the calendar.
Okay.
September 14th and 15th, I think, would be the 2 days.
Our lodging situation has changed dramatically, and I'm going to tell you why.
You got 2 suites at the Gold Coast.
I'm far away from the Gold Coast. The executive producers of my record label are flying in to Vegas coincidentally on the 12th, because on the 13th, they've invited us to Monday Night Football at Allegiant Stadium.
Oh, I didn't know the Raiders were home that night.
Yeah, the Raiders are home. That's the opening game against Baltimore. We got seats on the 40-yard line, and they're putting us up at a 5-star hotel somewhere for a couple of days.
Well, my birthday is the 21st. If you wind up with an extra ticket, cough, cough, wink, wink. But that's great for you. Wow. I'm very impressed. Yeah. Oscar, again, is the man on the mission.
I mean, we got a private jet situation to go some places, and it's really picking up.
Now you're going to pick up Reese on the way.
I wouldn't mind. I love Reese, but he's still. I don't know if I'm going to make it.
Well, he's going to make up his mind somewhat soon.
I'm going to do my best. I'm like, when the hell? Yeah, exactly. When the hell you gonna make up your mind? All the rest of us, all the rest of us.
We're leaving in about 2 weeks.
He still don't know. He still don't know if he coming.
He's too worried with the pieces.
She over there rolling her neck and rolling her eyes.
He's
Leave
exhausted.
him alone. He leave us alone. He got us. He don't know whether he coming or going.
Well, I bet he's doing a lot of coming, but that's a different story for a different time.
I mean, come on.
Do you think he's doing a lot of that, a lot of coming with the pieces?
He must be, because I guess he don't want to part with the pieces or leave them or whatever. I don't know.
He's leaving them with something if he's doing a lot of coming.
I don't know. I got to check my schedule.
David Reese could become an advanced aged father at this point.
I gotta see if I'm gonna have any work in the Massachusetts area. In that case, I can't come because I'm in Massachusetts. I mean, come on, dude. We all locked and loaded and ready to go. What the hell is you doing?
I mean, he's had a year and a half to prepare.
He's had a year and a half to plan.
Well, we're going to have a great time at the 55th Annual Cauliflower Alley Club. We're trying to set up some great guests that week as part of Wrestling Insider Special Edition, and to get some early work done for the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. So we got a lot going on. I'm going nuts behind the scenes trying to line everything up per usual. Little help for old Dan Marty. Marty Jannetty told me not to say anymore, Roscoe, how many days in a row I work. He says people don't care because they work too. And I don't say it because I'm looking for the Barry Horowitz pat on the back, but, I try and I want the fans to know how much we care about him and love him, and that's why we put so much effort. That's why I haven't had a day off since June 26th. I'm a tired guy.
Stop listening to Marty. Stop listening to Tony. Stop listening.
I'm definitely not listening to Tony.
Stop listening to everybody.
Just listen
me
to
personally,
Reese.
I'm proud. No, listen to me. I'm proud of you. I'm glad you got the energy. And then too, people don't. It's not the same thing as other people working. I mean, you have challenges. You have pain challenges and physical attributes, but you push ahead and push on and still give us quality TV and quality product despite the things that you going through. Because people don't know what you go through. People don't know what people go through in their life, and then they still push on and still deliver, stuff. And it's not like you making a lot of money. You do it for the love of the business and the love of the fans. So leave them alone.
And just to keep trying to grow it, baby.
Yeah, and keep trying to grow it. Well, anyway, let us get into
Reese's
SummerSlam.
Pieces? Oh, all right.
No, let us get into SummerSlam. The first part of
You
SummerSlam.
want to talk SummerSlam before AEW?
Yeah, I want to talk
go ahead. SummerSlam,
before, I got to eat crow for AEW. That's why I ain't in a rush to talk about it.
All right, we'll start with the biggest party of the summer then, from where you're going to be on September the 13th, the Legion Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada. Take us there, Oscar.
I had grown to be a fan of Bianca Belair.
Mm-hmm.
Bianca Belair is, to me, my opinion, she is the most talented diva on the roster, and I didn't know it until I really started paying attention to her. She got strength. She got agility beyond belief. And I mean, that girl has in-ring technical skills. She is the entire package. Now, the question is, what did you do, Bianca? Who did you piss off for them to take Becky Lynch and she got buried? I mean, it's not a matter of a squash match. Let's talk inside a jargon for a minute.
All right.
They buried Bianca Belair just that fast.
Do you think that maybe, and I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm not even saying I disagree with you, but just to play devil's advocate for the talk show, do you think that maybe it was a wise decision to execute the match the way they did, So they can almost pass it off as Bianca wasn't ready. She had no idea Becky was going to get the match. No WWE official authorized the match. And then she just got hit by one move out of nowhere and was almost in shock. 1, 2, 3, 3 seconds, and it's over. And it was almost like a crazed dream sequence where she really didn't have a chance to compete, didn't realize she was going to be competing against Becky. Do you think they could go that route with it, or do you think it was just a complete waste?
It's a complete burial, and I'm going to tell you why.
Sure.
When she gets the rematch with Becky, she is not going to get that belt back.
You think they're going to keep it on the man?
Oh, they're going to keep it on Becky because, number one, Bianca's over, but Becky is more over. Number one. And they did not
and I
bring
think that's
Becky.
True.
They did not bring Becky out of retirement or baby retirement or whatever you want to call it in order for her not to just get her star status back.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? Did you hear about what they were talking about doing at Mania?
What's that?
They were talking about doing to try and help fill 802,000 fans at AT&T Stadium for the SmackDown Women's Championship. They wanted to do the man versus the man, Becky Lynch against Piggott. Two redheads going at it.
Why are you so ignorant?
Oh, I'm not ignorant. I'm just having a little bit of fun. But
God.
It just feels like everything they've done to build Bianca up as a top-tier talent was flushed down the toilet pretty quick.
Yes, yeah. That is. See, when stuff like that happens, there are behind the scenes backstage antics behind that kind of thing. And I don't mind saying that in public because people sometimes need to understand, what it is that's going on. This is a talk show, so we can shoot.
To the right.
Yeah, that is something. There's something to that.
Clear. No.
Well, you know what? You know what I find amusing? Well, not amusing, but interesting, I guess, maybe, if you want to look at conspiracy theories. I was told by those within the know in WWE that up until AEW started to make headlines, Becky wasn't slated to return until October. So they rushed this.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? With everything that's going on, they had to. I mean, look at what happened at the very end. Brock Lesnar came back.
And, we're going to get there, but let's focus on this for now.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, to me, it was too much.
What they know, but see, the thing is, they feel like they gotta throw the kitchen sink in because AEW is not playing. They're not playing around. They are not playing. Oh, speaking of AEW announcement, are you aware AEW is having a fan fest in Chicago?
I did hear that. Yes.
Yes, well, I'll be there.
Really?
Yes, I am.
And what are you going to be doing there, you little rascal?
I'm going to be hanging with the boys and hanging with the fans and
signing.
I'm signing for free. You can stop me in the lobby and get an autograph.
Wow. Well, the big news, fans, if you're headed out to the big AEW week in Chicago for the Fan Fest, you can meet one of the hosts of the Boston Wrestling MWF talk show series, the host, the man that almost blew the roof off of Madison Square Garden at WrestleMania 10, the one, the only, the man on a mission himself, Oscar, at AEW's Fan Fest in Chi-Town. What great news.
Yeah, I was watching right before to get me in the mood. I was watching what was it? SummerSlam '94. I had to see that glimpse of that, and I just saw
brought back memories.
I saw how good looking I was. Oh my God! I don't mean to pat myself on the back in public, but I was so good looking. And
you think Piggott wanted to do a little rapping with you back in '94?
I don't care what Piggott want to do. Piggott can't even say hi to me.
All right. Well, yeah, you almost, and that's another venue you almost blew the roof off of. The first event, I
the
believe
first
SummerSlam
event.
'94 was the first event in that building,
It,
period.
it was the very first event at the United Center. And yeah, I didn't almost do nothing. I did blow the roof off of United Center that night. That was a great night.
Well, what are you getting there, Oscar? Another call?
No, that's my mother-in-law's phone.
Oh, your
She
mother-in-law is there.
My mother-in-law is
Well,
the
tell
most
her I said hello.
Dan and the boys said hi. She's the most fashionable woman in the Chicago area.
I've heard that.
I've
heard
y'all
that.
have the most fashionable woman in Chicago. She's like, ooh,
Very classy lady, from what I understand.
very extremely classy.
Well, that's what we like here in Boston wrestling. Not like what's down the street at Memorial Hall.
We're pig. Yeah. I know.
Well, as we continue with SummerSlam, any more thoughts on that match, or should we move along to some of the other happenings?
No, let's move along. I just think it was a shame.
Yeah. What did you think about Lashley and Billy Goldberg, and an issue that apparently isn't done?
It was exactly what I expected. See, what you got to understand when you understand the mechanics of this thing, Lashley and Goldberg, because of their size, and then you factor in Goldberg's age, they get blowed up, and blowed up means tired, real easy, real fast. So you're not going to see them go no 60-minute Iron Man match or nothing like that. They don't have the chops for it. Yeah. So they got to do a whole lot real quick, and then go to the finish, go home with the finish, and resolve the match.
Right.
And so that's the reason why it was like a blitzkrieg, what they used to call in Germany when Hitler's tanks and planes and stuff just bomb a country without relentlessly, so they blitzkrieg each other, which means they just go all in with everything they got. Everything is fast paced, hard hitting, and just constantly.
Yeah.
And so that's what I expected. That's exactly what they did. And and Lashley came out on top. But like you just said, they set up to have a rematch someplace. I believe the rematch can't be a regular match. Been there, done that. It's probably going to be a cage or Hell in a Cell.
Well, they have Extreme Rules next month, but the thing is, where Billy Goldberg only has a couple of matches per year on the contract, would you waste it so soon? Would you not save it for a big event like Survivor Series?
I would save it. I would save it for a bigger event, definitely.
Well, it seems like, though, it is tailor-made for Extreme Rules, where that's a pay-per-view of, in theory, on paper, which should be big grudge matches with big stipulations. But I'm the type of guy that, on the B pay-per-views, you don't put the big money matches on there. And I think even though while Goldberg continues to be very limited as far as what, he can do when that bell rings, you know what? I thought he was very believable with his injured leg. I thought it was a great angle and very believable how Bobby Lashley was able to assault a minor, with the explanation being that they thought it was a fan jumping. No, honestly, the storyline made a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
God,
while the
that
match,
was so funny.
The match may not have been great, but I thought what they did was executed very well. And if nothing else, even if the technical wrestling wasn't Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly last night on NXT, they left you wanting to see more with what Goldberg's next move would be after his son was physically assaulted by Lashley.
Oh my God, that was that thing with the son. That was just so funny. I felt for the kid. I really did.
You thought it was funny?
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
Why did you think it was funny?
It just the way it was done. The kid jumping on Lashley and then Lashley snatching the kid. I'm sorry. It was just hilarious.
Well, I thought it was one of the more memorable parts of the show. I thought it was
No,
believable.
it was. That was definitely memorable. I mean, it was.
Lashley had to deal with Piggott before when he worked Memorial Hall. I wonder if he ever wanted to put her in the Hurt Lock.
I would. I do.
Not that we'd condone man-on-woman violence like that, but, maybe in some alternative universe, if Piggott took a swing at him first or something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
what did you think about the big one, the true main event of the show, in most people's eyes? John Cena, the man that came from the loins of John Cena Sr., against the head of the table, Roman Reigns.
I think that I'm not gonna call their job exceptional, but it was good. I mean, it was good. Roman went over like I expected him to, because I'm sorry, kids, John Cena's not staying. Hollywood beckons. I mean, he did Furious Fast and Furious 9. That was a Hollywood blockbuster. So there's nothing that's gonna stop him from keep doing a movie. He's got this new movie that's on Hulu. I don't know if it's on yet, but it's getting ready to come on. So once you get into movies like that, I don't expect him to get rock status, but I do expect his star to be viable. That's where the money is for him. And so he would have to stick around or make a commitment to do so many shows for WWE. If he had the belt, he can't do that. And so that's the reason why he didn't go over.
Well, I think it was pretty simple to me, Marty. I'm sorry, Oscar. When WWE goes for the gold, so to speak, and they go to push for John to get that 17th World Championship to break Ric Flair's kind of record, even though Ric really did hold it more than 16 times. But just going with that number 16, when John is going to make a serious run at it, there's going to be video packages, and the announce team is going to shove it down your throat that John is going to be the greatest world champion of all time. And in the build-up for the match with Roman Reigns, they barely mentioned that, he could become the 17-time world champion. So that to me gave it away pretty easily. No matter what his Hollywood commitments were, they gave away that he wasn't getting that belt.
Right.
There would have been a lot of pomp and circumstance leading up to the match, I think.
But it was decent. It was like you said, it was a decent build up to the match. I feel like they could have did, a little bit more, but I mean, I think they did. Yeah, I think they did enough. They did that. I didn't feel shortchanged by no stretch of the imagination. And then the end, with Brock Lesnar making an appearance, I think that made SummerSlam that much more better. I mean, it was like the end to a really good movie. And when you can make the fans feel like that, everybody leaves satisfied and happy and talking about it in a positive way, then that's what they was after. I think they got that.
I'm going to tell you, Oscar, as far as the match goes, I thought it was a little slow, a little methodical as far as the build-up to the finish goes, and sometimes that's fine. I would have liked to have seen maybe a little bit more explosive of a match. That's one man's opinion. I think it is a complete and utter waste to bring back Brock Lesnar right now. I think that is your money for WrestleMania with 102,000 people at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas this April. Why pull the trigger on Roman and Lesnar now? We know WWE is a company with very little patience, very little pacing. I mean, are they going to throw Reigns and Lesnar on Extreme Rules next month? Are they going to waste it, have it in Saudi Arabia in October? Are they going to rush it that quick?
You hit it right on the head. Probably not Extreme Rules, but in all likelihood,
The
he
Kingdom of
showed
Jeddah.
up. Saudi Arabia is coming up. That's exactly where they're gonna have it, because they try to treat Saudi Arabia like it's WrestleMania.
And I think that's great for the money that they're making, but the problem is no one watches those shows. There's the fan backlash that don't like the fact that it's in Saudi Arabia to begin with, and it's in the middle of the afternoon on a Thursday.
But see, you gotta
a Thursday
understand,
afternoon at 2 o'clock.
You gotta understand something.
Tell me, brother.
When they go to Saudi Arabia, it's for Saudi Arabia.
Right.
They could care less if we tune in, if we can get it, if we watched it or not. Because if you notice, when they come back, it's like those storylines never happened.
Sometimes, in a lot of cases, yeah, you're right. Well, I think they could have such a great WrestleMania storyline if they present it as, who is Paul Heyman going to side with? Brock Lesnar, who he never parted ways with, or Roman Reigns? I think that would make for a tremendous build-up to one of the main events at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but like you said, the problem is they done pulled the trigger on showing Brock Lesnar already. So you can't pull the trigger on him today and then he go back in hiding until March.
Yeah.
That's not going to make good sense.
He's not going to vanish for 6 months.
Or April or whatever it is.
He's not vanishing for 6 months,
And
Oscar. I think we both know that. We both know it.
I'm like you. I think it's a waste for him to be around right now.
Yeah, it's really disappointing to me. I think that they could get so much more mileage out of it again if they had patience, if they had pacing. They didn't need both Becky Lynch and Brock Lesnar to return on the same show.
No, I mean, yeah, you're right. And, Becky Lynch is going to mop up the whole women's division. Believe me.
And nobody cares.
Just
After
wait and
last
see.
time they built the company, I'm still irked with her. I don't know if we ever discussed it on this show, but I mean, I think the way she went about her pregnancy was a disgrace. The company built it around her for a year and a half, and then instead of saying, geez, I want to start a family, can we come up with a storyline to write me out over the next couple of months? No, she just shows up knocked up, and instead of doing a job to put someone over and give them some credibility, she gave Asuka a lunchbox with the women's championship in it, with Asuka screaming in Japanese that no one understood, and she said, I'm going to go be the mom now. Good, go stay and be the mom if you want to be the mom. Treat the business that treated you so well with respect. Every woman that laid down and put her over could have been put in that Becky Lynch position. She should have done a job before she decided to start a family.
I've never been a Becky Lynch fan. I don't understand her stardom. I never will. Like I said, they are wasting a talent in Bianca Belair. And I wouldn't be surprised if Bianca Belair is now making a path on the island to leave. I wouldn't be surprised.
You think Asuka's will be on her way out?
No, Bianca Belair. I wouldn't be surprised.
You think she's going to leave? Oh no, I would be shocked.
I wouldn't. I mean, no, but I mean. If I'm being, see, you got to understand something. That stuff you see on TV, and then the way they shake it off and all the kind of stuff like that, that's TV bull. They really have a psychological, it's a psychological effect on the way things are done.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you know what? If I was Bianca, like I said, there's two ways to me I'd look at it. I'd look at it as A, they jobbed me out, or B, the storyline that I laid out, that she was in shock, she wasn't prepped for Becky Lynch, she had no idea Becky Lynch was there, no WWE official came out to make the match, to sign a contract or anything like that. It was just a referee ringing the bell, which I absolutely disdain and hate. I don't know why they don't have, if they want to go that route, why don't they have a general manager of some kind come out and authorize the match before it happens? It just, the bell rang, then one move hit out of nowhere, 1, 2, 3, it's over. It's like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, I like.
I'd play that route. That's how I'd go with it. I think it would give Bianca more credibility.
I like how it's fixed now, where wrestlers can authorize their own matches now.
It's ridiculous. It's just another reason why nobody watches.
Oh my God! They just come out and be like, "I want to challenge you for the title." Okay.
Yeah, we'll be back after this timeout.
Then it's done.
Don't even get me started on that, Oscar. I'm going to get hot, brother. I'm going to get piping hot.
I don't want you to get piping hot.
Like
but
the Chinese food over at Red Rose.
Like you say, it's ridiculous.
Well, I think they shot Bianca Belair in the foot. Hopefully it doesn't do too much long-term damage, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, it's a company with very little pacing and patience. I think Roman looks good coming out of Extreme Rules. My question is going to be, when does the big match happen between Lesnar and Roman? I don't know.
Okay. All right. Can we go to commercial now?
All right.
Something need my attention.
All right, boss. The vice president has spoken, fans. We're going to take a brief time out as we count down the days to go back to the 80s for WrestleFest, November 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose. Stand by. Tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com for our 20th anniversary Back to the 80s WrestleFest, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. The World Wrestling Federation was sold out at the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan, Friday, August the 23rd, 1985. In the opening contest, the Iron Sheik beat Polish Power Ivan Putski. Adrian Adonis with the win over Rick McGraw. Leaping Lanny Poffo drew Iron Mike Shark. King Kong Bundy defeated Jose Luis Rivera. Corporal Kirchner victorious over Steve Lombardi. WWF Intercontinental Champion Tito Santana retained the title over Macho Man Randy Savage via disqualification. And in the main event, WWF World Champion Hulk Hogan and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat defeated the magnificent Don Morocco and Mr. Fuji. If you were in Detroit live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our world-renowned Patreon streaming service, so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston Wrestling Sports and the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep Wrestling Legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
Here's your chance to own a piece of history from the 2020 WWE Draft. On the second night, October the 12th, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Alexa Bliss unleashed hell on Andrade and Zelina Vega. This limited edition 11x14 collector's poster is number 26 of only 50 made, personally signed by both The Fiend and Alexa Bliss, direct from friends at WWE. Comes with certificate of authenticity hologram on the poster itself, suitable for framing. You'll also receive a bonus autographed mystery photo and an on-air shout-out as our thanks to you. Get this ultra-rare autographed Fiend and Alexa Bliss poster now. Wrestling fans, especially here in the Boston area, we want to thank our great friends at Red Rose for their support for all of our charitable endeavors and programming efforts. Red Rose is 2 years young and extremely thankful for all the support they've had from our neighbors here in Melrose and beyond for an amazing first 2 years. Red Rose thanks Melrose and all of the first responders who have fought the good fight and have never given up hope during these unprecedented times. We did it together. Follow Red Rose on Facebook for their anniversary special, facebook.com/Red Rose Melrose. You'll be glad you did. Open until 2 a.m. Red Rose will give you fresh, piping hot, mouth-watering food that'll put an ear-to-ear smile on even the toughest critic's face. Check out their full menu online at redrosema.com or give them a call, 781-620-1889. All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to the post-WWE Monday Night Raw edition of Wrestling Insider's Monday Night Mission. I'm Dan Marati, along with your host, the former WWF Tag Team Championship Manager, the VP of Boston Wrestling, MWF, the man that blew the roof off of Chicago at SummerSlam 94, even more than CM Punk did last Friday night. I'm only talking about the man on a mission, Oscar. Oscar, again, we'll be having a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, okay, everybody.
All right, what do we got?
Mea culpa. I got crow. I gotta eat a lot of crow. I told y'all that I did not think CM Punk was gonna show up. And sure enough, like a ghost out of a shell, in the United Center, walking by himself, came CM Punk. I'm like, oh, I'm glad I didn't make a bet.
Well, what did you think?
I mean, all I can say is, if I didn't think that WWE was in trouble on a competition front, y'all in trouble now.
Really? You think it was that big of a move?
I think wrestling fans, whether you watch AEW, whether you watch WWE, or whether you're an Impact or a Ring of Honor fan, I don't care where your loyalties lie. Everybody, almost everybody, was looking for CM Punk. And I give kudos to CM Punk that he had the patience and he made the right moves with his money to be able to stay out the business for 7 years. And when he decided it was time to come back, he was able to write his own ticket, I'm sure.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
world was his oyster. He went to the highest bidder.
Do you think there was bidding though? Do you think Punk even had an interest in WWE?
I think he's a smart businessman.
Mm-hmm.
I think he went to the highest bidder, and not only the highest bidder, to whoever was going to succumb to whatever his rider was, whatever his demands were, not just money, but whatever else he asked for, because he was in that position.
Well, again, like you said, it must be nice to have been so smart with your finances that you were able to be in that position and live his dream of trying to compete in MMA and just have a nice, relaxing life with his wife. He found a company he feels that he wants to work with for the foreseeable future, and I think there are a lot of wrestling fans that are very happy to have CM Punk as part of their world of wrestling viewing now.
One of the reasons I'm looking forward to going to the AEW Fanfest is, I'm going to say this, and I mean it, I don't care what they would say to me, like they would say anything to me. I have no interest in going nowhere, not back in that business. I done made this record. I got to contend with that and see where that goes, and that's fine with me. But I would like to talk to some guys and just see firsthand what they're offering, what they got going on. What is the big attraction? what is the difference between them and WWE? What's the difference between backstage at WWE and backstage at AEW? You know, what makes them tick? And there has got to be something going on that's the allure to wrestlers besides money. I'm curious.
Well, it's one thing I'll say is it seems like it's a much more fun atmosphere than WWE, a lot less stress, almost like the quote-unquote good old days when, you know, the boys were the boys having fun out on the road. You know, it's only 2 days a week of work. They're not stressed with house shows.
Whoa. It's only 2 days of work. Oh, you're not talking about WWE back in the day, are you?
No. I'm talking about AEW now.
Oh, AEW now, so
Yeah.
2 days of work. I was going to say, you out your damn mind if you thought it was 2 days of work back in the new generation.
Oh,
new generation.
You
era.
know, I know better than that.
Oh, okay.
But
we was on the road, and when you had days off, when you walked in your house, there was a phone was ringing, and they took those back.
and they did, yeah, a lot of the times for a lot of the guys, which led to a lot of the problems that a lot of the guys have now. But that's
I couldn't even. I remember one time coming back into my apartment, I couldn't even drop my bag before the phone was ringing.
really.
Really,
Well,
I had this pager gimmick that that had words on it. Was state of the art. And it was beeping, and it was like Call Priscilla. I'm like, I knew what that meant.
well, I'm sure you're jealous of the schedule that the AEW superstars have then, for only 2 days a week for, I'm sure, a very healthy amount of money.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been the life. Believe me. I would have been like Reese. I would have had more time for Oscar's pieces.
But, you know, I think it'll lead to much healthier bodies. My only concern is, Oscar, if I was AEW, where they're limited as far as the time goes on their TV shows and their never-ending internet shows that sometimes have 13, 14, 15, 16 matches, you have a lot of young, green guys that you have coming in, you know, that could use the ring work. That's why I think outside of the top-tier talent that's already been to the dance, I would almost encourage the guys to do independent shows for quality promotions, just to continue to get the work. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah and no. I agree to do it for the reasons that you stated, but on the other hand, I don't know if I would take the risk of getting a serious injury working an independent situation when I got this television situation going on. Because every time you go out there or every time you train, more people get hurt training than they do in actual matches, because actual matches are more of a controlled situation. When you hear people have gotten permanently hurt, they got permanently hurt training in the gym, or they got permanently hurt at some BS independent show somewhere where the guy you working with is not as skilled and not as seasoned as you are and don't know how hard to hit, how hard to throw, or anything else. So would I take that risk? Yeah, I'm not so sure.
Well, how do they get the experience then? If they're only running 2 nights a week, you're talking about a couple of short TV matches. That, to me, you know, if you're going to go out and work, you need to go out there and work.
Well, see, it's not a matter of of keeping up practicing. I mean, that's what you go to school for when it comes to wrestling.
Well,
you're supposed to already know.
There is no experience like the live experience in front of fans.
Yeah, I got you on that. But like I said, you know, being in front of 20 people for $40 and risking an injury because you with some jabroni that don't know what he's doing, that's a big roll of the dice.
I don't necessarily think you're wrong about that, but I think they do need to come up with the formula, whether it's they run their own house shows or they come up with some kind of agreements. A lot of those guys need a lot of seasoning if they're going to become major league viable talents on a long-term basis.
What I would suggest, I didn't mean to cut you off. What I would suggest is maybe they should set up their own developmental camp. That is not a bad idea. Like WWE got one, so that the guys don't have to go and risk everything, to go to some crack house and go and risk it all. Get a developmental camp. That way, everything is in-house. That way, you're working with people you know. That way, you can develop your talent. That way, you are under the supervision of some veteran that can tell you left, right, up, or down, and then that's the way to solve that problem.
Well, they do have their, what do they call it? The Monster, it's not the Monster Factory, but the Monster Training Facility in some fashion that Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall have a hand in Georgia. Dustin Rhodes has a school in Texas. But, it's a very large roster. And like I said, I would say, the majority of them that have never worked full time, they need that seasoning. They still need more work, or they're not going to pass as major league talent on a major league wrestling show. It's a shame, that AEW has some of the, no pun intended, the elite talents in the genre right now, and they have other guys that look like they don't belong anywhere near national TV. So it's kind of odd.
Well, I think that's maybe another reason why it's smart for them to snatch up your CM Punks. I read somewhere where Bray Wyatt was heading there. I don't know how true that is.
Well, his no compete clause ends on right around Halloween, and AEW has a pay-per-view the second Saturday in November. To me, that would make a heck of a lot of sense.
Well, but what I'm saying is, that would be a good move to bring them in and pay them extra money for them to spend some extra time with some of the younger talent. Because you get there 3 hours or more before the match.
Yeah.
You sitting around, you ain't doing nothing. So why not have masterclass, when you come in with some of these people who know what it is they're doing. That way, you developing your craft. You getting your knowledge is getting higher, and that's a great way to spend that time. That's what I would do.
Well, again, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think there's a lot of guys there that could do a master class, so to speak, but they need to get the experience in the ring, working in front of fans, knowing how to work to fan reactions. And they're not going to get that during seminars. They're not going to do that during training sessions. They need to work in front of fans.
Yeah, no, they need to. I don't disagree with that. But they need to get the experience one way or the other anyway. So what I'm trying to say is, to have a master class, maybe you're not, if I put it like this, to get a master class, they're going to be better when they get in front of fans. Their time is not wasted just being rusted, sitting in the back, farting all day and eating pizza and ribbing on each other or whatever it is whatever it is they do. The time is spent being productive. Well, and I put it like this, and one other thing to answer to what you're saying, there's enough of them to make to make a small concentration of fans that are there, and if they pop, you're doing something right. That is the one rule of wrestling. When you are wrestling, you're not wrestling for the fans. You're wrestling for the back. If the back is popping at what you're doing, you have done something heavenly.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I think, again, outside of the top 20 that they're not building the company around, I'd encourage them to work as often as they could. Again, one man's opinion. Your thoughts on Daniel Bryan? Apparently he is AEW bound as well. I think it would be smart to save him for one of the New York tapings they have coming up. It's a big deal for AEW to be coming to the metropolitan area in New York City. Tickets are selling very well. I don't know if they're completely sold out yet, but it's going to be 2 big weeks for AEW when they're in the New York City market, Oscar. And I think having Daniel Bryan debut is certainly would be a big time bang for them, much like CM Punk was in Chicago.
You know, it speaks to their success, and to me, that is just genius booking. It was genius booking to bring CM Punk to Chicago, no matter what the cost. Even if, I'll put it like this, even if they didn't make a profit, bringing CM Punk to Chicago, and it might have cost them money to do it, was a stroke of genius. It was hot shot booking at its best. And so bringing Daniel Bryan to the New York area is the same thing. Because if you didn't make money this time, you sure as hell gonna make a boatload of money next time. So when it comes down to booking and booking certain people in territories to headline, they have got the playbook down pat. And I didn't think they was. And honestly, I didn't think they was. I didn't. When they first came out, I didn't bet on them for a bowl of farina.
Well, I tell you this, they continue to bring in. I think Andrade is a very underrated signing for them. I think he's should be right now a main event heel in WWE. I think Aleister Black or Malachi Black was another great signing for them. The potential to bring in Bray Wyatt around Halloween time, my God, that's almost a dream come true. I mean, you look at a guy like Strowman, it's almost like they don't even have room for him. Where's Big Braun going to go?
They're fine. I mean, if they put it like this, if they sign Strowman, they'll find a place for him. I mean, you could sign him and keep him on the shelf for a while, but the opportunity is going to open up to bring him in a big way, probably when they sign some other big monster, which they can, and I believe they will, and then it's going to be on like popcorn. So yeah, I would definitely do it, and then I would work it slow. Just because I sign you today, don't mean I got to use you tomorrow.
Well, I look at it like this, Oscar, and I think the only problem is it would expose the size of the majority of the roster. What if you brought in Wyatt, Strowman, and Eric Rowan together and form almost a new look Wyatt family to try and take out the superstars of AEW? I think that would generate a lot of interest, but again, the problem is the majority of those talents on the roster, they'd look like little children compared to those three.
Well, it all goes to the big rule of the Royal Rumble. The big man is in there. 15 of us got to jump him and get and get him over the top rope first. So it's not like it's an impossible situation.
It would be boring if they did it every week
to deal with. Well, like I said, I mean, it's all in the scripting, and I think AEW. I'm not going to say they've mastered it, but I think AEW is doing a good job. I believe it's still a learning curve.
Absolutely.
But I do believe that they will find a scenario where it will make sense. So I would sign them, number one, before WWE decide we made a mistake letting Strowman go. Maybe we need to get him back, which they are very known to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know it and I know it.
Yeah.
But I would definitely snatch him up first. The same thing with Bray Wyatt. I think that somebody's going to wake up and say, we need to get that acquisition back in our fold.
How hot would a stale Raw be right now if all of a sudden you had the return of The Fiend with a dangerous Strowman and Rowan with them? Talk about a faction that could cause a lot of havoc on a very boring TV show instead of having, Nikki almost the superhero and the possessed Alexa Bliss and all the other women that they shove everyone down everyone's throat 4 or 5 times a night. I think that would have a real interest if I was booking WWE or writing for WWE.
They would have title belts forever. I'm not just talking
that'd be
about
a money angle.
year.
Money angle.
Yeah, that would be a money angle. But I mean, but like you were saying, AEW is smart enough to snatch these acquisitions up before WWE can realize the ones that got away, as they put it, and then go and snatch them back. So I mean,
as we're winding down on this one, Oscar, I got to ask you your opinion. Do you think where Goldberg's contract is for 2 appearances per year, do you think WWE is going to let Billy Goldberg go and risk him going to AEW to join some of the other tenured veterans of the sport like Big Show and Sting and Ric Flair, apparently even?
I don't think that they would see that as the biggest loss.
They're not worried about Billy.
I don't think that they would see that as the big. And the reason being is because unlike Strowman and Wyatt, he's been around for a very, very, very long time. So would the fans miss him if he don't show up every now and then? No, they would not. So I don't think they would care. So yeah, I mean, I could. But then too, you got to ask yourself, if Goldberg got let go, would AEW have interest?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not so sure.
Really? Interesting.
Because he go to AEW. You think about it for a second. He go to AEW today. What really would he do?
I would imagine along the lines of what he's doing right now. Come out here and there as the old gunslinger, almost like Sting, who is on TV an awful lot but doesn't wrestle very much.
But see, that's where getting a Strowman or Bray Wyatt come in. He got to have somebody viable for him to match up against. Not the midget roster that they got right now. That ain't going to make no sense.
No, you're not necessarily wrong about that, pal. But I guess, again, what is the AEW roster going to look like when Goldberg finally fulfills his WWE contract? That's an interesting point of contention, too. We're going to have to wait and see.
I mean, that is
a lot can change.
That's way too much speculation. And the reason why that is because, they a loose cannon. So it's not like they following any real continuity that we can really guess that this going to happen, that's going to happen, this going to happen, that's going to happen. Just when you think so-and-so is going to happen, they switch it up, and then something happens, and you really don't believe it. Like, I'll put it like this, like the releases.
Yeah,
exactly. We couldn't believe half the releases that got released. We were like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah, if you go back to the beginning of Corona, you're talking about that was about 70 or 70 or so talents that have gone missing, whether it be Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Not all of the talents have got on the major league rosters, but I mean, that's a lot of bodies. You could have created a third promotion with the amount of people a fourth promotion, I should say, with the amount of people that they've released over the past year and a half.
Let me tell you my favorite part of SummerSlam before we go.
Let's hear it.
I almost forgot. My favorite part was the FanDuel commercial coming on, and they wasn't talking about boxing, football, nothing like that. The FanDuel come on, and they have bets in wrestling.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay.
You're not sold on that yet. Did you bet on SummerSlam?
I didn't bet on nothing. No.
No, all right. Well, I just wanted to make sure.
No.
Oscar, again, a huge weekend. We didn't even get to NXT TakeOver. I thought that was a solid event. Had some good matches. It looks like it is the end of Adam Cole. All of Adam Cole's Merchandise was put in the clearance section of WWEshop.com. So I would expect Adam Cole to also be debuting in AEW. And I think, at least size-wise, he's the perfect fit.
Yeah, no, oh, God. Yeah, no, Adam Cole going over there. I told you this last week. I told you he fit right in.
Adam
There's
Cole,
a
baby.
bunch of people. There's a bunch of people that he can run angles with, and those angles can go on from here to next summer, and they would make sense.
I mean, AEW continues, the momentum continues to grow and grow and grow and grow. And in WWE, you know, I think they again lack the patience and pacing of, are you still there, Oscar?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I had another call. I was trying to get rid of it. But I lost my train of thought there. They didn't need to bring back Lesnar and Becky in the same night. That would have been like AEW debuting Becky and debuting Punk and Bryan in the same night. It's too much. It was too much. They didn't need both. They didn't need both.
Well,
Please.
You know me. They could have kept Becky at home. I mean, I don't know. I mean, but I mean, it was too much. But it was good. It was good for their business. I mean, the fans lost their mind, and that was the purpose of it. So it fulfilled whatever the purpose that it was supposed to fulfill. So if you look at it that way, you know, it was not a bad move. It was a good move for them. The fans got bubble like this. The fans left the stadium in Vegas feeling like they got their money's worth and then some. And that was the purpose behind that.
And that's cool, and I agree with you on that. But the problem is, okay, what happens once you go back to your week-to-week TV? Is there going to be any interest out of that? I don't know.
Hi,
Corey, how
you doing?
Who are you talking to, Oscar?
I'm good.
No, that's not me.
Oh, that's not you.
Actually, I'm blessed.
All right, Oscar.
no.
Well, you know what? Things are getting chaotic there over at the mansion in Indiana. Any final thoughts before we hit the road this week?
I'm just, no, it's still a couple of weeks away. You know, I'm looking forward to
The Cauliflower
bumping
Alley
heads.
Club.
I'm looking forward to Cauliflower Alley Club. I mean, that is just shaping up to be, a weekend. Cauliflower Alley Club, that was big in and of itself. I mean, I was really excited. But, you know, the fact of going to Allegiant Stadium, you know, on top of that, you know, that is just the icing on the cake. I didn't see that one coming. It's just going to be a weekend of a lifetime. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you and hanging out. But I'm telling you, no matter what we are going to do, we are going to the Gold Coast Buffet. We got to go.
At least once.
Yeah, no, we only going once.
Well,
But
I know you like. Sometimes I know you've gone as many as 3 meals a day. You
Yeah,
love
we
it there that
definitely-
much.
We definitely going. So yeah.
And I ask you this: are you going to tune in tomorrow night at 10 o'clock for the series finale of Wrestling Insiders at Your House?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna tune in.
Well, I tell you this, the fans, I don't think will ever look at our old pal, Mr. USA, the same way again, as his lovely stepdaughter shares some stories of her experiences with Tony over the past 30 years, from the late 80s until his wife suffered a stroke. Very unbelievable, shocking. I was shocked. And I almost felt dirty at the end of it, Oscar.
You better. I done told you. I done told you once, leave them folks alone.
What's that now?
I done told you, leave them folks alone.
Well, I tell you, you know what? I thought I was very nice in extending an offer to Sunglasses at Night to come to the studio.
Oh Lord!
And
have
instead,
mercy.
those two losers, they decided to make yet another video, another attack video. So you know what? As I told Tony via text and his little buddy up in Maine, I said, when the arrows continue to be shot at me, I'm gonna fire a bazooka right back, baby. And his daughter-in-law, for an hour and 15 minutes, has some very interesting stories. Very interesting stories. Can you believe, for example, that, a high-quality individual like Tony Atlas, we heard him talk about all the gang rapes that he used to watch and do nothing about, not call the police or try and stop them last week. We learned this week that on his wedding night, to Monica, forced her to have sex with another wrestling promoter. And that's just one of the torrid tales we learn tomorrow night at 10 o'clock after NXT on the USA Network.
On his wrestling night.
On his wedding night.
On his wedding night.
Yes. He forced his bride to have sex with another wrestling promoter.
Why?
You're going to have to tune in and find out. This is some really crazy stuff going all the way. You know
what?
What's that?
Hang up off the air and brief me so I'm prepared.
There's so many different stories. Even his, he's always told the tale that he was homeless and he was living under a park bench, and his wife sat down on the bench that he was under, and that's how they met. Well, see, the truth of the story is, no, Tony didn't meet her under a park bench. Tony's wife and stepdaughter didn't drag him back to her home and bathe him. Tony didn't go into a coma and go into a hospital because he was in shock from being outside for so long. The reality of the situation was, when Tony met Monica, he was working as a bodyguard for drug dealers in Maine, and they met at a supermarket. So, again, it just shows the character and credibility of old Mr. USA. He sounds like he should be running for political office, but anyway. All right. And again, fans, don't forget this Sunday night, we're going to be live. We're going to be live for our new concept every Sunday, at least through mid-October. At least that's the plan. Just Incredible, the former ECW World Champion, joins us live Sunday night in studio for a Wrestling Insiders taping, cyber autograph signing, and more. For my partner in crime, Oscar, I am Dan Marty. We'll see you next Monday night after WWE Raw. And again, do not miss what we have tomorrow night at 10. Good night. Thank you for joining us. Please give the video a big thumbs up, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the channel to enjoy more great content. Don't forget, you can help keep wrestling legends working. Check out our eBay store and join the Boston Wrestling family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling so we can produce more in-depth shoot interviews.